You are looking at blue skies above Pad A at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1 on the Mahia Peninsula. Electron is currently scheduled for liftoff at 1:55 p.m. New Zealand Daylight Time for its 81st launch and second flight this year, launching our latest mission called Bridging the Swarm.
Now, today's launch is headed to a 540-kilometre low Earth orbit at a 87.4 degree inclination to deploy the NeonSat-1A satellite for the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, known as KAIST.
Now, for those of you who have been following this mission, you'll know that we stood down from a launch attempt toward the end of December. Now, with troubleshooting complete, we are ready to take NeonSat-1A to space and help to bridge the swarm for KAIST.
The satellite being deployed today will link communications between an earlier satellite we launched for KAIST in and the future constellation that they have planned over the next 2 years. So NeonSat-1A is a sub-satellite of KAIST NeonSat group, which altogether will form 2 orbital planes of a constellation in a sun-synchronous orbit.
KAIST and CASA, which is the Korean Aerospace Agency, will use satellite data from the constellation to monitor for natural disasters and respond to national security events across the Korean peninsula. Other Korean institutions involved in the mission include SATREC, the SATREC Initiative, the Korea Aerospace Research Institute, and the Korean government's Ministry of Science and ICT.
And in mission control.
Today's launch director is Julio Vembacher, and that poll is scheduled to begin right at T-minus 12 minutes on the clock, so let's listen in now.
And to all operators, LD and mission code, we are proceeding now with the go-no-go sequence. Stage.
Stage is go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Recon.
Beacon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS. PLS is go. RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is go.
MM is go. LD sub.
LD sub is go.
The go-no-go sequence is complete. We are currently T-minus 11 minutes and 23 seconds and counting. We go for the terminal count auto sequence at T-minus 10 minutes, and from this time the 3-word procedure is in effect.
You heard it there, that is our go-no-go poll complete, and the team is ready to proceed with all remaining launch operations. Our target liftoff time for this mission remains set at 1:55 p.m. local time.
And while that countdown continues, let's take a look at the Electron rocket carrying NeonSat-1A. So our launch vehicle is designed for the dedicated launch of small spacecraft to Earth orbit and beyond, and at 18 meters in length, Electron sits in the small lift class of orbital rockets, and it's the most frequently launched rocket of its kind globally. Built from carbon composite, Electron's dry mass is just over 1,300 kilograms, but its liquid oxygen and kerosene propellant combined brings that total liftoff mass to just over 13,000.
Across its 2 stages, there are 10 3D printed rocket engines called the Rutherford, which we produce at our engine development complex in Long Beach, California. 9 of those engines power Electron through the initial ascent phase of launch before the 10th engine on the second stage ignites in space to carry the mission to orbit after our stages are separated. Moving up to the top of the second stage within Electron's nose cone fairing is the kick stage, which is our platform for delivering the NeonSat-1A to space.
Yes, and the kick stage has its own propulsion system too, called Curie. It's a much smaller 3D printed engine that we use for orbit maneuvering and positioning to deploy the mission's payload to orbit with accuracy, and sometimes that is to within just meters of its target.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beginning pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
An excellent launch for Electron from Launch Complex 1 Pad A, and we are on our way to space for the 81st time. Electron is already about 5 kilometers above the launch pad right now and will soon reach maximum aerodynamic pressure, otherwise known as max Q. This is the first milestone to listen out for, and it marks the moment in Electron's ascent when the atmospheric pressure against the rocket is at its highest. So let's listen in.
Approaching max Q. Cleared max Q.
HVB discharge.
Confirmation there from Mission Control that we have cleared max Q with some beautiful views of that rocket on its way to space. And at T plus 1 minute 29 seconds, we are now more than 21 kilometers above Earth and moving at more than 2,000 kilometers an hour to reach orbit. Now, very soon, we are going to make our way through the final event for Electron's first stage, which is called MECO, or Main Engine Cutoff.
15 seconds to staging. Entered burnout detect mode.
MECO confirmed. Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Fantastic. Mission Control has confirmed a successful MECO, stage separation and second stage engine startup. A nice clean run for Electron on this mission so far. Now next up will be fairing jettison, when the two halves of Electron's nose cone split in two and fall away, revealing KAIST's payload to space for the very first time. We've got a camera inside pointed up at the spacecraft, so we should see that visual confirmation when it occurs in the next 30 seconds. Let's keep an eye out.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
That is fairing jettison confirmed, and there is NeonSat-1A on your screen, exposed to space and racing closer to payload deployment now that we are at T plus 3 minutes 59 seconds into the mission. And we've got another 2.5 minutes or so until our next milestone for Electron, which is the battery hot swap.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Nice one, a seamless hot swap under the belt, and that second stage engine is firing away. We are now 6 minutes and 57 seconds into today's mission, and Electron's second stage is cruising along with Electron 200 kilometers above Earth, right around our kick stage separation altitude. And we are now more than 200 kilometers above Earth, well on our way to our 540 kilometer orbital destination. Our trajectory is taking us down towards Antarctica as we make our way out over the South Pacific.
Entered burnout detect mode.
Guidance is in terminal. 20 seconds remaining.
SECO confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
Stage separation confirmed.
There we have it. That is SECO confirmed, and the kick stage has successfully separated from Electron, so NeonSat-1A